Hi, my name is Darcy Nyrose. This is Danny Kapkowski. We're with Nyrose and Associates and Coldwell Banker Horizon Realty. As we know, there are three types of markets. There's of course the seller's market, the buyer's market, and a balanced market. Today we are in a seller's market. So we're going to talk about this seller's market today, and we have Danny Kapkowski here. Danny, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
We want to give some advice on buyers that are looking to get into the market and kind of how and what do we do to get a deal accepted, get the home you want, and without paying too much or without putting in 5 or 6 offers, and what we're getting to be called buyer fatigue. So Danny, when you have your buyers out there, what are some of the first kind of initial advice you give a buyer to get ready for this market?
I think first and foremost is knowing what you qualify for, right? Going to your lender, making sure you're good there. And then in today's market, we're finding that a lot of the products going above asking or right thereabouts. So really just not looking kind of out of your range, knowing that you can kind of fall within and compete and that sort of stuff in whatever product you're looking for.
Okay, and what I've heard too is if you're, let's just say you're pre-approved for 700. A lot of people look up to 700, but they are losing out because it's getting bid a little bit higher. We are encouraging people to maybe start looking at the 600s and 700s, so we have some options. We have some room to grow.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, totally agree.
Now, you've got a couple buyers you're working with right now, and you've seen some challenges, which is just low inventory. So what ways are we being able to find inventory that's not really out there to the public?
Trying to pay attention to any Facebook posts, that sort of stuff where people are posting coming soons. We listen to the brokerage as well. We have that opportunity on, we have a weekly meeting that we do that everybody gets to talk about kind of deals that are coming up, that sort of thing. It's really just kind of being on the lookout for ones that haven't hit the market yet that we'll be doing so soon.
Awesome. Yeah, you also told me that being experienced, you have a good network of realtors, and we talk amongst them to let us know what's coming prior to it going to the public, so we can get our buyers kind of, let's just say, a foot ahead of everyone else. That's awesome. Now, when they find a home they like, and we want to put the offer in, what kind of due diligence do you actually get them to do before the offer goes in? Because of course we want that offer to be the best as it can be, and we want it to look the best to the seller. So what do you recommend that the buyers do to give that best offer forward?
Yeah, again, that's having the financing sorted out. That way, that if we decided to go in kind of loose on subjects, kind of trying to thin that out, make things happen a little bit quicker so it's a little more inviting to the seller, that would be one that I would definitely have done. Also, kind of doing some of the due diligence on condition of the home, that sort of stuff. Really just trying to make it where we can come in as strong as possible and prepared enough to where the seller is going to entertain our offer over one of the other offers.
You had mentioned earlier that some of your buyers, they don't get a lawyer ahead of time, and we're finding lawyers are actually 2 to 3 weeks out for a completion date. So you had mentioned, let's get your lawyer retained early to make sure that that lawyer is available. Let's get a home inspector kind of on the sideline so that they're available. And of course, you're right, let's make sure we get all the documents from the seller's agent, which is the city file, to tell us a bit about the home, also the title, and the property disclosure statement, so that when we come into that offer, it's as clean as possible. That's great. Well, thanks, Danny. But before we finish this little episode here, can you give me some of the key points for the buyers that are out there looking, just so they get an idea of what they need to do to make sure that they are one of the front runners in the offer that they put forward?
Yeah, a few. I mean, we've kind of covered, obviously, having the financing. You had mentioned having that lawyer retained and ready to go. The other thing is to even have an idea of who you might want to use for a home inspector, so you can get that lined up. Also, within these offers, we're going to have to, I would want the buyer to be a little bit flexible on timing and that sort of stuff, because what we're going to do to try to make that offer as strong as possible is to try to meet the dates that the sellers want. Right? They may want an extended closing, or they may want to make it happen fast, something like that. So you'd want to be a little bit flexible with that as well. I think important is to note is being prepared that this is a little bit of a crazy market and not to be let down when you're missing out. I'm finding that that's what's fatiguing a lot of my buyers, is missing out on some opportunities.
Well, Danny, thanks for that information. That's some great advice.
Thank you.
If you're looking to buy in this market, biggest thing is also find the right agent. So give us a call at Nyrose and Associates, and of course Danny Kapkowski, at 250-258-9888, or you can see us at KelownaRealEstatePros.com.